Hi, I'm Dr. Kate Altizer, and I teach piano at Colby College in Waterville, Maine. I'm also a musicologist, and I've prepared this two-part video on West Side Story for the DuPage Symphony Orchestra. This is part 2 on some of the key musical features of the dance suite Leonard Bernstein wrote after the musical's premiere, and which you can hear on the May 18th program of the DuPage Symphony Orchestra. Bernstein arranged and orchestrated the symphonic dances a few years after the musical's debut, and the New York Philharmonic premiered the work in New York City on February 13, 1961. This type of arranging was not unusual for Bernstein. He made concert music out of other stage works as well, though these dances have proved the most enduring. For the rest of this video, I'm going to mention a few things to listen out for in the suite, but you can also check out the listening guide on the DuPage Symphony Orchestra's website. A few key points. Calling this work symphonic dances is an appropriate choice. It highlights the significance of choreography in the show to aid in characterization. The gang music is more dance-like than much of the romantic music in the musical, and you'll hear more of the gang music in the suite than the romance. Writing this piece in the form of a dance suite also demonstrates Bernstein's tendency to cast European genres in American musical language. Second, fans of West Side Story might notice that the order of musical ideas in the suite is different from that of the musical. Somewhere, for example, is placed second here, though it does not occur until much later in the show. One other key change from the original might seem obvious. Because the actors and singers aren't present, the melodies are carried by the orchestra, and any special effects, for example, the famous jet snap or the shout of mambo, must be performed by the orchestra members themselves. Third, the musical makes use of recurring melodies, or leitmotifs, to signify characters and ideas in changing context. The motifs similarly structure the suite, most notably the opening discord motif and the somewhere motif. The prologue establishes a gang theme for the Jets, and the theme for discord between the gangs. One way the prologue establishes a sense of discord is a device called the augmented fourth, or tritone. The tritone is an interval, or distance between two notes, that sounds incredibly dissonant. In fact, it's so dissonant it used to be called Diabolus in Musica, or the devil in music, and it's been used by many composers to suggest the sinister, or at least the uneasy. In the prologue, it is both in the discord theme and the Jets theme. The discord theme is comprised of two opening leaps. The second leap establishes the interval of the augmented fourth, or tritone. The dissonant interval is highlighted by playing it short and emphatically. A rapid three-note motif follows. Together, the leaps and three-note motif comprise the discord theme. The Jets theme, sometimes also called the cool theme, puts the tritone at the end, this time descending. Listen to how the last note of this theme sounds kind of surprising and not quite at rest. The tritone recurs throughout the suite, at times doing its work of sounding unsettling, but also showing up in somewhat unexpected places, for example, in the cha-cha. This section of the suite borrows music from Maria, dreamily sung by Tony when he learns the name of the woman he's just fallen in love with. Maria opens with an augmented fourth, or tritone, but the effect here is very different than in the opening discord motif. The melody moves quickly through the tritone, resolving upward. The effect is more to mark Tony's stunned infatuation, though the tritone could also foreshadow his fate despite his moment of happiness. Another key feature of the suite is the predominance of Latin jazz-inspired percussion and rhythm, highlighted in mambo. In the 1950s, the United States was experiencing a mambo craze, assimilating older Latin dances into mainstream American music. A mambo was originally a Cuban dance, and here Bernstein leans into Afro-Cuban percussion, opening the piece with timbales, a type of shallow drum, often hit with sticks but occasionally with the hands, bongos, and cowbell. The Afro-Cuban jazz influence is also heard in the prominence of trumpets, which at times are muted, and which at times have a wailing sound. Finally, Bernstein loves playing with old European conventions and new American timbres and styles. The cool fugue does just this, taking fugal technique in which various voices introduce and develop or expand on one or more melodic ideas, also called subjects. Here, the subject is clearly introduced, but then other lines pick up that same idea. Even as fugal technique is very old, this piece is suffused with the sounds of jazz, most notably cool jazz and big band jazz. This section is built on a musical pun. The Jets are practicing controlling their tempers. Keep coolly cool, boy. And cool simultaneously references cool jazz, a style that emerged in the 1940s and 1950s. While still embracing the small combo, this style is less driving than bop, and is characterized by light playing. The popularity of the modern jazz quartet, led by vibraphonist Milt Jackson, also made the vibraphone, heard throughout this section of West Side Story, a key element of the cool jazz sound. As the piece builds, though, it begins to sound more like a hot big band with a fuller orchestration. For more compelling sounds to listen for in this famously fantastic suite of dances, be sure to check out the listening guide on the DuPage Symphony Orchestra's website. And be sure to join the orchestra for their May 18th program to hear Leonard Bernstein's symphonic dances from West Side Story.